right, guys, this is Maneesh from PM Pulse, and we are at the 8th episode of Webinar Weekday. Having said that, let's move on to what we are here for. What is the purpose of this webinar? I'll be very honest. Too many suspicious sources of PMP practice questions. I am a member of a lot of LinkedIn and Facebook and many other PMP forums and groups, and I see the absolute ridiculous questions people post over there, and they think that they're really looking at good stuff. So forget about the wrong answers. I'm talking about the quality of the questions itself. They're really suspicious, right? So to overcome that, at least let me give you some really good curated questions which you can really depend on. Even if questions are good, explanations are missing. That's another big problem. Guidance to show how to answer the question. So, there are some questions which I'll show you exactly, how to approach those questions. And basically, I also want you to practice some PMP questions right in front of me. It's better that you make a mistake in front of me rather than behind me. And I want to ensure that you get some quality and curated questions for practice and explanations. And well, that's the real purpose of this webinar. And people who know me, they know I love to help. All right, scope of this webinar is just your scenario questions and calculation questions for PMP preparations. All right, so time for us to get started. And there is your question number one. Now, guys, I hope you know that whenever you get a calculation questions, you should never do a mental calculation. Never, ever. Because when you actually sit for the exam, you will have a jitter factor, and even 1 + 1 can become 3 instead of 2. So don't do that. Your mind plays trick. Please use calculator, right? And I also hope that you are sitting there with some kind of paper, some kind of notepad to take ample notes. All right. So now, guys, let's see who can answer fast. Use the Q&A, right? As much as you can. Just write A, B, C, and D, because I will get to see your name. And the question is 1. And all you have to write whether the answer is A, B, C, or D. That's it. That's all you have to write. And your answers would not be visible to anybody else. So in case you're worried, hey, man, what if I get wrong? People will see. No way. I'm the only person who can see the answers. All right. So be fearless. Go ahead and answer. All right. So we've already got the very first answer. Not bad. Not bad at all. Right. Let's move. Come on, guys. You got to be faster than this. All right. So, I think we've just got all the alphabets, right? No, I didn't get A, but I got B, C, and D. All right. Well, the correct answer is actually, it's D, right? So I don't know if you can see, it's D, right? It got highlighted. I don't know if you could see it. It got highlighted, right? So now here's the question. What is it that we are supposed to find, right? We're supposed to find, the CV and SC. I mean, those are the options given. Now, here's a very big trick. If you think that CV, what the correct definition of CV, which is cost variance, is EV. Always remember, EV comes first minus AC. Now, that's when you get the right answer. Now, if you flip, right? If you end up flipping, that means AC minus EV, you will get something which is something like A, right? So be very careful. Even the wrong possible options or wrong possible answers that you guys would come out with is also given an option when it comes to earned value management questions. This is a very important point. You have to be very careful and confident about your answers and the formulas, because all possible wrong answers are also provided, right? So this is the explanation, right? This is right here. Your explanations are given right here. Cost variance is, let me change the pointer options so that it's more easy. So cost variance is EV minus AC, right? And then you get a positive, you got a negative kind of a thing. So that's the answer. And schedule variance is EV minus PV, and that gives you another negative, and that was the answer. All right, so this is question number 1. This was the easiest question that you would get. All right, now let's look at question number 2, and let's look at the answers as fast as we can. In case some of you guys have joined it with a smaller screen, I don't mind reading it out. If the project's current total earned value, EV, is $100,000 and the actual amount spent AC is $95,000, what is the cost variance of the project, right? So basically, again, you need to know exactly what's the formula, and don't confuse it with CPI, right? That's when you'll get a fraction. So let's look at the answers which are coming in. All right, so this time all of us got it right. Okay, so fantastic. This is great, right? Perfect answer. All right, so sometimes it's very rare that you'll get very easy questions like this, right? But they do. All right, now let's look at question number 3. If the optimistic estimate for an activity is 12 days and the pessimistic estimate is 18 days, what is the standard deviation of this activity? And you have the options here. If you can let me know as soon as possible, what is the correct answer? Okay, so far incorrect. Oh, okay. All right. So somebody corrected it. So hey, very good. That was fast, right? That's the speed that I'm looking at. People make mistakes, but how fast you correct, that's kind of cool. Not a problem. We're still getting wrong answers from some other people. Come on, guys. Come on. It's not very difficult, actually. Some of you may have forgotten in PMI what is a standard deviation. Please understand, we are not talking about the square root kind of standard deviation, which is in the normal statistics. Over here in PMI, absolutely, right? So we just write pessimistic minus optimistic, and the whole thing divided by 6, right? I mean, you can even have optimistic minus pessimistic because the division, we just don't want a negative figure. So we will always go with pessimistic minus optimistic and divided by 6. Now, if you look at the pessimistic, right, the pessimistic is 18, which is the longer duration, and the optimistic is 12. So 18 minus 12 will give you 6, which is 6 by 6. And therefore, the correct answer is B, right? So that's the right answer. Right? Perfect. A lot of people have written it. So not bad, guys. So be very careful about the formulas. And I knew people are having a lot of problems with the calculation questions. And that's the reason why I came out with this free webinar, which is extremely high on value, right? So that's what we believe in. Get the right stuff. So our material is very curated. We spend a lot of time for accuracy, right? We don't want to take chances with people and their career. All right, so be very careful. So that's what it is. All right, good. Not bad. So guys, be very careful with the formulas. You need to practice formulas. You need to remember formulas, and you need to do it at the drop of a button. I mean, you should be, like it should come to you in a few seconds. All right. So let's move on to question number 4. Let me read it out to those who are using smaller screen. An activity has an early start, or ES, of day 3, a late start, LS, of day 15, an early finish, EF, of day 9, and a late finish of, LF, of day 21. So the activity, and these are the options. Basically, you need to figure out whether it has a lag, is it on critical path, those kind of things. So just let me know, out of these options provided, which is the absolute correct answer? And let me look at the answers. In fact, there's not much calculation here. I mean, if you guys are quick, you'll find it very easy to answer this one, actually. All right, so the answers are coming in. Not bad. One of them got it wrong. Okay. All right, so guys, always remember, right, what is the formula for float, right? If you really want to know what's the formula for float, it is late finish minus early finish, right? Or it is late start minus early start, right? Now, here's the thing. If the value of this is 0, then the activity is on critical path, right? Because the float on critical path is 0. But do you think, just see the numbers are different, right? So you have late finish right here, and you have early finish right here. Look at the numbers. They are not the same, right? You don't even have to calculate, because lags are not calculated like this. Only floats are calculated. So don't think this has anything to do with lag. Lag is different from float, right? That's a very, that's why people get tricked. So it simply means that this activity has float, because there is a difference in late finish and early finish, which could only mean this activity is not on critical path. So some people fell for the trap of lag. Lag is not calculated like this. In fact, lag is something that you design into your system. So be very careful, guys. All right, pretty good, right? All right, good. Good. Right, so that's the explanation that I provided. Okay, so remember, float is not the same as lag. Lag is something that you guys put in, and float and critical path has to be calculated after you schedule. True? And on critical path, the float is 0. And therefore, if the values of late start and early start, or late finish and early finish, if they don't match, there's only one thing: it's not on critical path. All right, so question number 5, I'm going to read it out for you. From the table provided, what is the critical path and what is the duration? And let me give you the table right here. Now, guys, you would have to create the entire the entire network diagram. So in case you thought that I'm going to take it very easy with you, it's going to be a free session, so it's going to be very easy. No. The moment anybody joins me, I'm going to give them the real picture, right? Whether it's free, whether it's paid, I don't care. All right. So go through it. I'm going to give you exactly 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's it. And I want an answer. This question, when I solve it, will also help you understand exactly how to make a network diagram very fast. All right, guys, I should start getting the answers now. All I need to know is what is the critical path. Okay, I've already got one answer. Okay. Come on, guys. Let's have it. You cannot be spending this much time when you're preparing for PMP exams. You've got to be faster than this. This is not the amount of time that you take for PMP exams, guys. Come on. Okay. All right. Now, first correct answer. Good, 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 good. Very well done. Actually, this is fantastic. All right, pretty good. Now it's rolling in. Good. Very nice. Fantastic. All right, so I'm getting some right answers now. Not bad. Good. Not bad. All right, so I'm, about 7 or 8 people have done it. So I'm just going to take that, right? And I'm going to move forward. Well, for few people in the beginning who answered, a couple of them, you got it wrong, but don't worry about it. That's what I'm here for. The correct answer is ABC, 18, right? So critical path. So let me show you exactly how critical path is made, right? So watch this very carefully, guys. I've made it into an animation. So I put the table right here. So you need to be very careful when you start making. The first thing you need to do is never start directly working on the activities. The moment you start writing A, that's where you're sure you're going to make mistake, right? The chances of making mistakes are higher. So what is it that you need to do? The first thing that you need to do is you need to have a start node. Always have a start node, all right? And then let's look at, okay, so this is the activity these guys are talking about, A, right? And it happens immediately after start. Predecessor means who's before A. That's the meaning of the term predecessor. We'll talk about duration. That's the easy part much later. Let's make the network diagram. And therefore, at some place, we'll just write A. Then we will move to the next one. Okay, B is after A. All right, so we just write it down. Okay, C is after B. All right, so let's go ahead and write that. D is after A. So you've got to make something parallel. All right, so we do something like this. All right, D. E is after D. All right, so let's continue something like this. And F is after E. All right, so sounds pretty good. Let's do that. And G, oh man, we have another parallel. All right. So it's immediately after start, right? So we do something like this. And then H is after G, right? So we are not looking at the duration because that's the easy part, right? I'm only concentrating on how you have to make it. So always make it the way I'm showing you right now. Don't struggle with durations. Now that's where you'll waste time. Make the network diagram first, right? And then okay, H, right? And then J, oh, that happens after B and I, right? Sorry, I is after X, my mistake. And then we have J after B and I. And all right, so we'll have to do something like this, B and I, and that becomes your J. And then J, F, and C, that's what is written here. That hits the finish node, all right? Now that's how you make a network diagram. Always make the relationships first, and then look at the the durations, right? This, and then it becomes much easier. Just be careful, right? And make sure that you put all the durations. Once you put all the durations, the first thing that you need to do after this, when the network is done, and here's a very important trick that I'm telling you, whether the question is talking about, if the question has asked you to make a network diagram, and whether they ask you the critical path or not, you must find the critical path. Because no matter what they ask you, it'll be much easier for you and faster to answer the question if you knew the critical path. That is one of the fastest way to answer questions on network diagram. Trust me on this. This is a really amazing concept. Whether the question has asked you about the critical path or not, just find the critical path and it'll be much easier for you to answer. Okay, that's the rule. Now, you have to look at how many different paths do we have. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. So there are only 4 paths. And then you just have to add. So don't miss out on any path. And once you have all the paths, you can just add them up. That's the easy part. And the longest duration becomes your critical path, which in this case is ABC, which is 18. Right? I think you can see it. 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 8 is 18. And therefore, I've changed the color of these arrows, and I've also called it a critical path. So always remember, this is how you have to do it. All right, guys, let's move on to question number 6. You are a project manager with a team of 5 persons working under you. After some time, 2 more persons get added to your team. By how much has the channels of communications increased? Let's see who gets it right first. It's a simple question, guys. You have to make that thing twice and then let me know what the answer is. Okay, I've already got one answer, not bad. Pretty cool, actually. Okay, okay, not bad. Come on, guys. I need a few more. All right. Okay, this is correct. Not bad, not bad. Okay. You're absolutely right. Shilpa, absolutely. Not bad. All right, so I'll take that. So some of you got it right, some of you got it wrong. Not a problem. And this is basically, to a certain extent, a bit of a trick question, right? So I knew somebody would also go for 28. Some people would go for 15. I knew that would happen, right? So yeah, that was the whole purpose of this entire this thing. So these questions kind of look easy, but they're not. You have to be careful. There's a trick. So what's the correct answer? Well, the answer is 13. Basically, you don't have to calculate. Basically, all of us know the formula that you're talking about is n into n minus 1. The whole thing is divided by 2. So in this question, you have to do it twice. Once before the two people and once after the two people. And then you have to, minus, find the difference of the number of, communication channels. But here's the trick. If you think that the original number of people were 5, then you're wrong, because the trick is you need to know in these kind of questions, when you have to calculate channels of communication, is the project manager included or not? Are the people included or not? So look at the language. You are a project manager with a team of 5 persons working under you. That means you are not part of that. I mean, this is other than you, right? So in total, if I look at the total team size, it's 6. And therefore, right, the formula becomes like this. The first time it is 6, not 5, and hence the channels of communications are 15 to begin with. And then when you add 2 more people, it becomes 8 people, all right? So your channels of communication is 28. Now, if you minus 15 with 28, because I said by how many channels has the channels of communication increased? And the answer is 28 minus 15, and it has increased by 13. So you got to be very careful with the question, and that's the trick. As I told you, I don't give simpler questions, right? Just to satisfy. I want to give you those kind of questions which are true to PMI or PMP. If you're the kind of a person who loves videos to gain knowledge on PMP, well, look no further. This is the site for you. All you have to do is type pmvideo.pm-pulse.com and you will find on this platform 29 video packages all about PMP. Each of these topics, each of the difficult topics have been covered. Even reviews of different knowledge areas have been covered. And the videos are focused on the richness of content, not the beauty of presentation. And guess what? There is a video package with 200 guided questions also provided. And after some time, I'll probably add another one. So there'll be 2 sets of 200 guided questions. And the content is simply mastery level. Well, don't take my words for it. Let's have a look inside. Yeah. So, well, the status could be, well, you know what? We are behind schedule and we are already 1 hour late. We can even say 50% completed and we are already late by 1 hour, right? So how do we talk about it? Well, status right now in this project shows 50% project complete and delayed by 1 hour. What is now? Now is 3 weeks, because we are here. We are at this point, right? This is where we are taking the status, progress, and forecast report. So this is the point, which is now, which is 3 weeks. So if we kind of reverse engineer this particular definition of planned cost for planned work that should have been done by now, and we know now is 3 weeks, and we go backwards, basically what it means that as per plan. All right, pretty good. So not bad, not bad. So basically, what does it mean? It basically means if you look at EV, what's the formula for EV? What's the definition for EV? Planned cost for actual work done. So we have a total planned cost, which is BAC, and the actual work done is 13%. Therefore, if I have to find the planned cost for actual work done, I just have to take 13% of this. It's as simple as that. And therefore, the answer is this.
Remember that when it comes to PM videos, all you have to do is type pmvideo.pm-pulse.com on the browser and access all these packages.
All right. So question number 7. Your project has a BAC, which is budgeted at completion, which is a fancy word for total project cost, right? So your project has a BAC of $4,522 and is 13% complete. What is the earned value? I mean, do you have enough information? If not, choose something. If you have, choose something else, right? So let me see. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right. So some people really are good at calculation. That is cool. That's something I like, right? Mathematics is something that's always been a favorite subject of mine. So cool. Not bad at all. All right. All right. So the correct answer is C, right? So basically, you should remember the formula of the definition of earned value. What does it say? The definition says that planned cost for actual work done. That's the official definition of earned value. That means the total planned cost is given, the actual work done is 13%. So 13% are planned cost, and that's the answer, right? So this is simple. If you remember the definitions, you will get it right. All right, so let's move on to question number 8. Which of the following projects described below will you select? And you got all these options provided here. Let's have a look at your answers. There's nothing to it. You should have already started answering by now. Okay. So a lot of people are falling in this trap. Good. I wanted you to fall in this trap. Yeah, I know. All right, I got one right answer. All right. Okay, more people falling in the trap. Perfect. Okay. This is gonna surprise the hell out of you, and I'm gonna explain. So a lot of people have fallen into the trap, and that's what I wanted actually. And this is a PMP question, right? It actually taken from PMP. The answer is cannot be determined from the above options, right? You see, people misunderstand the term opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is not used for selecting a project. Opportunity cost is the sum total of the projects that you did not select. It is just a notional value. You don't use that for selecting or rejecting a project, right? So opportunity cost is out. The second thing that you need to know is sunk cost. You never take a future decision based on money that you've lost in the past. Sunk cost is the amount of money that you've already lost. That's the meaning of the term sunk cost. So the correct answer is that from the options provided, you can't select because this is absolutely not giving you any information about the project. So money that was lost does not make sense about how do you select a new project, right? So you can't do that. All right, so be very careful. This is absolutely a trap kind of question. Opportunity cost cannot be. You will be asked to calculate an opportunity cost, but you can never use, hey, this is the opportunity cost of this is the opportunity cost of that, so which project is better? No, you cannot even get a question like this. And if you get a question like this, well, then you have to go for, well, something like this, that it cannot be determined because you cannot use opportunity cost like that, right? It's not a comparative thing. Okay. All right. So that was a good trap and you fell in it, but it's great that you made a mistake in front of me, instead of behind me. So be careful of that. And you never use sunk cost, right, to calculate anything. All right. So we are already in question number 9. You guys are doing pretty good job. Let me read it out for you. As a project manager, you estimate that in your project, there is 50% probability of earning $40,000 as profit and 50% probability of incurring $25,000 as losses. What is the expected value for the project considering profit and loss possibilities? All right, so somebody's already answered, which is kind of cool, right? Okay, this is pretty impressive. Not bad, Mohammed. Not bad. Come on, guys. It's not difficult at all, right? I hope you remember the formula. This is expected. Basically, when you say expected value, it is nothing but EMV, right? It's the same stuff. It's expected monetary value, which is probability times financial impact, right? This is the amount of money that you need to keep aside for contingency reserve. That is why you need to have an EMV. All right, pretty good. I'm impressed, right? So basically, what you have to do is you have to find the EMV of profit, which is going to be 20K, right? Which is 50% of 40,000. And you'll have to take 50% of the losses of 25,000, which is 12 and a half. And therefore, when you deduct, you get 7,500 positive, not negative, right? So 7,500 positive. So that's the answer, right? So the explanation goes like this: use the expected monetary value, and which is probability times financial impact, and 0.5 or 40,000 and 0.5, which is like 50%, whatever. You can use decimal or percentage, doesn't really matter. So it becomes 20,000 plus, and this is minus. So I've just used it like this. So it actually kind of deducts it. And the answer is 7,500. So pretty good, guys. So we are in question number 10. And let me read it out to you. Based on past estimates, there is a 25% probability for a particular event to occur every year. If a project lasts for 3 years, what is the probability of the event happening in the third year? And these are the various probabilities provided. And let me have a look at the answer. This is the time that you think that, oh God, why did I not pay attention during the probability classes of class 8 and 7 and 8? Right? So this is, those were good days, right? Class 7 and 8, no PMP, right? Okay, not bad, not bad. Mohammed is on fire. Now, all right, pretty good, Aditya. All right, pretty good. So, one of us got it wrong. Oh, two of us got it wrong. All right. So guys, you need to understand about probability. These are mutually exclusive events, right? So they're not related. Like if they're not the two faces of a dice, right? So if there is a 25% probability for a particular event to occur every year, then on the third year also, it'll be 25%, right? So, you know, it's not a related event. It's like every year is different, right? So every year it's going to be 25%. That's what it is. The probability of the event happening every year is 25%. So the probability of an event happening in the third year is also 25% here, because they're mutually completely exclusive, right? Let's continue with question number 11. I'm going to read it out for those people who are on small screen. What is the range of a rough order of magnitude estimate, right? So let me have a look at the answer. Some people have already answered, which is good. Actually, if you can answer things so fast, which is what I look at. All right. So very nice. So the answer is 25 to plus minus, 75%. Not bad. So this is good. Not a very tough question, but still, some people actually kind of get it. But I'm going to show you the entire table, right? Just make sure that you remember. If you talk about budget estimate is also basically nothing analogous or parametric. So if the question says, hey, what is the degree of accuracy of a parametric estimated? Basically, they're talking about budget estimate, and then the degree of accuracy is minus 10 to plus 25%. Right? Definitive is nothing but WBS or bottom-up estimating. Like, so you should know the other terms associated with it. And it's the most accurate, but takes a lot of time, right? And you got this part absolutely right. So very well done, guys. Fantastic.
Imagine a course that can cut down your PMP preparation time from weeks to just 16 hours. Yes, you heard me right. This is PMP Dash, the PMP Examination Readiness course, the 16-hour wonder. This PMP Dash, please understand, is not a 35 contact hours training. This is going to assume that you've already got the 35 contact hours training. You've already applied for the exams, and that now you're struggling to find time to study. Well, PMP Dash comes in handy just there. All right, so what is PMP Dash? PMP Dash is PMP Exams Readiness course. It is going to make you ace PMP exam in just 16 hours of preparation. The most important definitions, concepts that regularly show up on PMP exams, the most important ethos on which the scenario questions are based, most important tips and tricks which are really relevant for your PMP exams, and it is also going to contain 200 PMP guided questions. All of this would be discussed in just 16 hours of PMP Dash, by the end of which you will not only be ready for PMP exams, you will ace it. There are so many people who have already cleared it and they are going gaga about PMP Dash. Not only that, PMP Dash will also give you access to Ninja Notes audios and exam simulator. I need you to practice just for a couple of days and listen to those wonderful PM Ninja audios and give the exams. The best time for you to attend PMP Dash is just days before your PMP exams. We have a huge schedule, at least 5 to 6 sessions in November as well as December. I'm going to make sure that more and more people pass PMP exams. They should not have any stress, any kind of a doubt about PMP. Join this session. Just go on to my site, which is pm-pulse.com/workshops.aspx, and go through the entire schedule for PMP Dash. I really look forward to seeing you at PMP Dash in one of the sessions. This is your best bet for acing PMP exams before December end 2020. See you there.
And let's move on to question number 12. I'm going to read it out for you. You have 5 people working on your team, a sponsor within your company, and a client, all of whom need to be kept informed of your project's progress. How many lines of communication are there? All right. So once bitten, twice shy. Let's see if you could learn from the previous debacle where you calculated, some of you calculated it wrong. So I'm giving you one more chance for redemption, right? Try to answer it as well as you can. Okay. All right. Very impressive. It is 28, right? So you guys didn't make a mistake this time, right? Very well done. So this is the only trick that you'll get in these kind of questions, which talks about calculation of communication channels. You need to figure out whether the stakeholders are separate from the group of people. So you need to add them and then calculate. So you have to keep an eye on the way the language of the question is written, right? So very well done, guys. You did not make a mistake, so that's fantastic. That means my points are getting through to you. All right, so that's the whole purpose of me spending nearly an hour with you guys. Question number 13. Now this question looks kind of big, but it's not. It's just reading time. It's big. I'm going to read it for you. You are considering whether to buy or lease a machine for your heavy engineering plant. Your finance department has provided you with the following data. The cost of buying the machine, if you buy, is $29,000, and the one-time procurement and integration is about $1,000. The cost of leasing the machine, if you lease, involves $10,000, right, as down payment, and $5,000 per month as license fee, right? So what is the breakdown? What is the break-even duration after which, so whether you buy it or whether you lease it, it's going to be the same. Let's see if you know how to answer this question. I'm going to give you 3 minutes for this because you'll have to create a formula. Meanwhile, let me just have a drink of water. Okay, got one answer. No. Guys, please don't go for cannot be determined. It's actually very easy. You're not looking at it from a from a simpler point. Okay, so this is where, see, this is what happens when you know, a lot of people don't understand this part of the question. Not bad, not bad. All right, so the correct answer is 4 months. So 5 people got it right. About 8, 9 of us got it wrong. Let me explain it. Basically, you have to you make an algebraic formula. You just have to create an algebra, right? How does it work? So if you say the month on which, whether you buy it or whether you kind of rent it out, if that is X, right? If you just take it as X, and then you have to resolve in favor of X. It's like that ABC square, right? So it's very simple. It's a very simple algebraic expression. So for example, if you buy, the cost is 29,000 plus 1,000 because that's a one-time cost. So the total cost comes to 30,000, right? So assuming that the lease is for M months, right? I just said X, you can go for M, right? Right. So if you lease it, it becomes 10,000, which is a upfront cost, and then it's 5,000 per month. So you got a variable here. So how do we resolve it? So we make a formula. So we say if 30,000 is equal to this side. So this is the buying side and this is the lease side. And you got this X or M on this side, right? So now if I resolve it in favor of M, what's going to happen, this 10,000 is going to go this side. The sign's going to change and it'll become 30,000 minus 10,000. So it'll become 20,000. So it'll become 20,000. And then I want to, so it'll become 5,000 M is equal to 20,000 or 20,000 is equal to 5,000 M, whichever way you want to look at it. And then if I resolve it in favor of M, the 5,000 will have to go on the other side. It'll become a denominator. And therefore, it'll become 20,000 divided by 5,000. And therefore, it becomes 4 months. So this kind of question is quite rare, to be very honest. It's rare. But it's my job to make sure that even if it shows up, you guys should be, prepared enough to answer it, right? So my question, my point is to make you absolutely prepared. So that is a kind of a question. Good. Now let's have a look at question number 14. A company is considering 3 projects. Project A has a NPV of 500,000, sorry. And project B has an NPV of 300,000, and project C has an NPV of 200,000. What is the opportunity cost if the project A is selected, right? So I just want to know if you know the definition of opportunity cost, because a lot of people get it. All right, so Venkatesh, all you have to do is if you just, the place where you just write this message, all you have to do is whenever you look at the question, just write whether your answer is A, B, C, or D, because I can see your name, right? But others can't see, right? So guys, go ahead. I mean, if you want to answer that is, because it gives me an idea as to whether you got it right or not, but whatever that you answer is only visible to me. It's not visible to anybody else. So just be fearless. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Come on, come on, come on, guys. Let me have some answers. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, good, good, good. So most of you got the answer correct. Some of you got it wrong, which is fine. See, the correct definition of opportunity cost, a lot of people don't understand what is opportunity cost. They say that which is the next most expensive, so people go for C. So a lot of people answered this. This is wrong. When you select something, the real meaning of the term opportunity cost is the sum total of investments that you did not undertake. That means if you selected A, then the B and C, which was not picked up, you have to add them total, and that's your answer, which is 300,000 plus 200,000 gives you 500,000. So be very careful about the term opportunity cost, right? So several books, including the most popular book, I don't want to name that person, right? Famous author from US. She is messed this up completely. In fact, quite a few other books, right? So I've done this. So guys, get it right. This is as per Adam Smith. This is the original definition, that opportunity cost is the sum total of all costs, all investments that you do not undertake, right? So again, the good thing is these kind of questions are very rare. But as I said, I want to make sure that you guys have all your bases covered. Now, question number 15. In your organization, Three Sigma quality processes have been implemented. This means that there is a dash probability that any result will fall within the Three Sigma range. What is that percentage accuracy or probability of a Three Sigma? Answers. Schnell, fast, bega, rambasigrama, jaldi jaldi. I'm trying to use as many languages. There are no Japanese here, but then Hyaku days. No, okay. Right. So yeah, I'm trying to use that. Come on, don't give me don't give me an option like should I should like B or D. I mean, you got to choose one, right? You don't have that option in PMP, right? So you have to choose one. Vamos, rápido. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool, Shilpa, right? Vamos. Yeah. Yalla. All right, not bad. No, yes. We are not talking about Six Sigma, Dhamika. We are talking about Three Sigma. So what's the accuracy level for Three Sigma? That's the question. That's the question, right? So what's the answer, guys? All right, so the answer, uh, no, you're getting the wrong question. Okay, the correct answer is B, 99.7. You see, the question is not asking for Six Sigma. They're asking for Three Sigma. So what is the range of Three Sigma? It is 99.7. If they had written as Six Sigma, then the range would have been 99.999. At some point it becomes 8. But they're asking for Three Sigma. So guys, sorry, one person, right, actually was talking about, only writing Six Sigma. But we are not, the question is not asking for Six Sigma, right? So guys, do you know, if I ask you for One Sigma, what percentage? One Sigma, not even Two Sigma, One Sigma. Do you know what is the percentage? Anybody? Just type. Yeah, it's actually 67 point something, but there is a lot of people also write it as 68. So this is One Sigma, this is Two Sigma, this is Three Sigma, and this is Six Sigma. There is nothing, I mean, there are 4 and 5 Sigmas, but if you already achieved Three Sigma, you can take a catapult all the way to Six Sigma. So usually people don't go to 4 and 5, right? So remember these percentage very clearly. This is very important for exam, right? So Dhamika, be very careful, guys. If they ask you for Three Sigma, you need to provide that person. You cannot go for anything that they've not asked for, right? All right, so question number 16, let me read it for you. Tasks A, B, C, and D are all on critical path. They all cost 5,000 each and have the same duration of 5 days each. At the end of day 11, tasks A and B are completed, while C is only 50% completed, while the amount actually spent is 13,000. What is the status of the project? So when I say status, you need to calculate CV and SV. All right. So now you have to answer. And you have to calculate, guys. All right. And then tell me what is A, B, C, and D. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. It's a very good question, guys. I'm telling you, it's a very beautiful question. This is the kind of question I personally like. It really makes you think. Okay. We already got one answer. Not bad. I really like that. So instead of calculation, the person has used some basic logic. I kind of like that. Good. Okay. Come on, guys. Let's have more answers. Okay, we're getting almost all the alphabets now. All right, so you really have to calculate, guys. Damika, we really have to calculate. Shrikant, this is calculation. So you need to understand, hey, what is, what is it that you need? You need two things, three things, EV, AC, and PV. We know AC, right? AC is already given, right? What is the AC? It's given right here, actually spent, right? So we need to find EV, right? So what is the, so they're telling you how much you finished, right? So at the end of day 11, task A and B are completed, while C is 50%. So A and B has to be taken in total, and C only 50%. So that gives you your EV. And then you have to say, okay, how much we should have done, by this time, on by day 11, how much we should have done. And then you get your PV, and you'll come to know exactly what needs to be done, right? Yeah, okay, guys, be careful. No, you guys are getting it wrong. Guys are getting it wrong. All right, so the answer is C. Shilpa, you should have stuck to the original answer. If we are ahead of schedule, but we are over budget. Okay. I don't know where that 20% came in. We're talking about 50%. So where's that 20%? I'm not too sure. Okay. You're talking about, okay. So let me explain that. You guys getting lost. The calculation is much simpler, right? So you just have to use a little bit of logic, right? So be careful, guys. You got to use a lot of logic here. Okay. Now I got it. Right. So always use calculator, right? So let's have a look at the calculation. So earned value, the sum of the approved cost estimates, right? So for example, what is earned value, right? Earned value is planned cost for actual work done. So it's a by 11th day, right? You should have done this. How much you've already done? They've already told you. So you've done A, B, and 50% of C. So 5,000 plus 5,000 plus 2,500. So which is 12,500. So this is your EV, right? It's very simple. AC is already told to you it's 13,000. PV is what you should have done by 11th day, right? So you should have done 5,000. You should have done 5,000. You should have 5,000. And yes, 20% of the last one, which is, 1/5, which is 20%, right? And at the end of the day. So how much does it come to? 11,000. Now, let's see. If this is PV, right? And this is EV, and AC is already 13,000, right? We already know. So what's the formula? EV minus PV, you get a positive. So if you get a positive on schedule, what does it mean? You're ahead of schedule. You're doing better than the schedule. But if you get a negative on cost variance, means you are over budget. That means you're spending more money than the budget, and therefore that's the answer, right? I'm going to show you this one more time. Get your heads wrapped around it, right? And it's actually very simple. The question is actually very simple. It's just the way it is presented.
Welcome to PM Dhwani, the very first audio platform dedicated entirely to project management. All you have to do is open the browser and type dhwani.pm-pulse.com. It's loaded with certain packages. Some of the most important packages is ETOs, an entire package dedicated to understanding ETOs, input tools and techniques and outputs on PMBOK. It's the best utilization of time. You can listen to it anytime, anywhere, doing whatever that you feel like. Specially made for retention through listening. And it's bit-sized audios, so that you don't have to listen to huge audios before you can make any sense. They've been cut down into bit size so that you can focus on specific aspects before moving on to the next audio. The other important package you should be aware of is PM Ninja. These are Ninja notes in audio platform. They contain the most important tips and tricks, notes, important definitions, concepts, calculations, which are really popular in examination. And basically, it's a PM Ninja, PMP, readiness notes in audio format. All you have to do is go to dhwani.pm-pulse.com and start listening to these audios.
All right. So now, question number 17, right? You are managing a project with a budget of 500,000 USD and 250,000 USD has been spent. Upon review, you observe that only 40% of the work has been completed. Your schedule says that you should have completed 50% of the work. What is the EAC estimated at completion? What is the EAC? Right? So how would you find it, right? What is the formula? The only formula that you can use for EAC over here. Think of that and then figure out that how you're going to calculate that percentage, that what I call the speed, and then see. So remember, this is your BAC and 250,000 USD has been spent. You observe that only 40% of the work has been completed. So if you've done 40%, so this is your AC, 40% of, okay, I'm just going to leave it to you. These questions are not difficult, guys. You really need to understand. That's why when we train people, we explain them from a logical angle. So when we explain them from a logical angle, these questions become quite easy, right? It just becomes logic, right? So unfortunately, most of the other sources, they only talk about, hardcore calculation. And hardcore calculation, sans logic, creates these kind of issues. I'm just going to wait for a couple of more minutes. Not bad, not bad. Okay. The answer is 625,000, right? So 4 or 5 people have done a pretty good job. I really like that, guys. Fantastic. Some people got it wrong. Doesn't matter. It was not an easy question, right? I mean, it is an easy question. It's just that you're not used to it. So that's why you got it wrong. Okay. So let me explain that to you. So your EAC, so the formula that you're going to use is the only formula you can use here is, the one with CPI, cost performance index, BAC divided by CPI. So how do you calculate CPI? You need EV and AC. Don't worry about PV. So you're really not bothered about that 50% stuff those guys are talking about. So EV is EV divided by AC. So how do you get your EV, right? So how do you find your EV, right? That's the main question, right? So yeah, so what is your EV? 200,000. How did you get that? 40% off? Yeah, whatever that 500,000 thing is, right? And they've already told you how much you've already spent. So you get your CPI, which is 0.8. So if you take 500,000 and divide it by 0.8, which is your BAC divided by CPI, you get this. Not bad, right? So this is how simple the questions are. Let me give you one more. You're managing a project with a budget of 500,000 USD and 250,000 USD has been spent. Oh, sorry, my mistake. I ended up making a mess of it. Sorry, my mistake. This got repeated. Sorry, guys. Question number 19. You're managing a project to build a new project management information system. You work with the team to come up with an estimate of 27 weeks. In the best case, this could be shortened by 2 weeks because you can reuse a previous component, but there's a risk that a vendor delay could cause the project to be delayed by 5 weeks. Use PERT to calculate 3-point estimate for this project. Let's see if you guys remember. Guys, can I have the answer? All right, so all you have to do is you have to find what is pessimistic, what is the middle value, and what is optimistic, right? So, and then, multiply this with 4, and, this is plus, and then divide the whole thing by 6, right? Okay. All right. So, guys, are you aware? Okay. So, I think slightly a little bit of an issue. The correct answer is actually 27.5. Now, Shilpa and a few other people who got this wrong, basically what you need to know is look at the question. It says you're managing a project to build a new project. In fact, you work with a team to come up with an estimate of 27 weeks. So, 27 weeks. In the best case, this could be shortened by 2 weeks. That means 27 is not the middle value. Sorry, 27 is the middle value because you're shortening it by another 2 weeks. So what do you get? 25. So you get 27 plus 25 times 4. And let's look at the worst case scenario is add 5, which is like delayed by 5. So it becomes plus 32, this whole thing divided by 6. So that's the answer, right? So this is what it looks like. Optimistic 25, pessimistic 32, most likely 27, right? So 27 you have to multiply by 4, right? Because that's the middle value, right? And sorry, my mistake, I accidentally pushed wrong buttons, right? I'm just getting tired. Or I'm just old, right? So 25 plus 4 into 27 plus 32 divided by 6. So 25 is not the middle value, it's the optimistic value, right? So 27 becomes your middle value. Wait a second, I think I have a question. Isn't that my estimate is the most probable in the last one? Oh, no, Shilpa, here's the question. Let me go back to the question, guys. I think I need better explanation. So, sorry, I think I made a mistake here. So basically, if you look at it, what does it say? That you estimated 27, right? So let's just put it somewhere, right? And then you say, yeah, the best case is that you'll actually reduce it by 2 weeks, right? So it'll become 25, right? So what's going to happen? So 25 is the optimistic, right? And then we, right? And then the worst case is 32, right? You could delay it. So this automatically becomes your middle value. So you multiply with 4 plus 32. So whatever it is, you divide it by 6 and you get 27.5. I hope that explains. Just to yeah, yeah, yeah. 25 cannot be most likely because if you when you write it, you'll remember the optimistic is the shortest duration, a pessimistic is the longest duration, and the middle value is usually called the most likely. You can just call it middle value, right? So that's what it is, right? So hey, not a problem. That's my job, right? So that's all I do, explain, right? So and you need to understand, guys, why am I good at explanation? Because I'm married. I'm explaining all the time. I'm explaining it to my wife, right? So I'm just kidding, guys. So, yeah. So anyway, I've been married for 23 years now, going on 24. So I've done a lot of explanation in my life. Now, this, guys, I wanted to end with a bang. This is a really tough question, right? So I want you guys to answer it. I give you 5 minutes. This is a tough question, guys. I want you to, that's the reality. Shrikant, awesome. All right, so guys, I want you guys to spend about 5 minutes. Do your best. It's not an easy question, guys. I mean, you might get it right by just by hook or crook, but if you, the only way to get it 100% right is to calculate, and the calculation is kind of tough in this one. Let's see. Some of you guys will not even realize that this is a calculation question. So let's see the best you can do. 5 minutes. All right, guys, let me know. All right. Some people say, okay, so guys, let me explain this. First of all, do you realize that you have to calculate something known as TCPI? And if you guys know what is TCPI, is to complete performance index. That is the asking rate, the speed with which you're required to spend the money to complete the rest of the project. So that is called TCPI. That means your forecasted rate of spending money. And they've already told you a constraint that whatever you do, you cannot spend, your CPI will not increase beyond 1.05, right? So here's the thing, what you need to do. You need to calculate the formula for TCPI from the information provided. And if this information, if your TCPI is less than 1.05, the project could be right on target, or it is going to come under budget. But if it is greater than 1.05, then the project is likely to exceed its budget, because your required efficiency would not match your current efficiency. I mean, there's no way that you can meet it. So let's look at the formula. So a lot of people, that's the right answer. The project is likely to exceed the budget. One person got it, two people got it right. Now, let's have a look at this question of the answer. It's asking whether or not a project is going to come under budget, and that's what a TCPI is for. Basically, you have to calculate your required speed of spending money. Good thing you were given all of the values you need to calculate. The actual percentage complete is 57%. The BAC is 1,500,000. The AC is 950,000. You can calculate the EV, or which is BAC, into the percentage, which will give you this much, right? Because the percentage is already given, right? Which comes to this much. So now you have all that you need for TCPI. So what's the formula for TCPI? The formula for TCPI is BAC minus EV divided by BAC minus AC. This is how it actually works, right? This is the formula, right? So if you substitute the values, right? The BAC is already given, 1,500,000, and 855 is something that you just calculated, because remember, your BAC was how much? 1,500,000, and it says how much percentage complete is 57%, which means what is the definition of EV? Planned cost for actual work done. So actual work done is 57%. You just take 57% of the total planned cost, it gives you EV. That is how we calculate this one. The rest is already provided, right? So now 1,500,000 minus $855,000, and then BAC again, but this time minus AC, and that will come to 1,500,000 minus 950,000. And whatever that you get is now you're going to get TCPI. That means your required rate of spending money is 1.17. If you want to finish the project in the given budget, you need to have an efficiency of 1.17. Otherwise, you'll not be able to meet it, right? But you have been told by the question, like, guys, right now, there's no way we can go beyond 1.05. What does it mean? That your current efficiency will not be able to meet the required efficiency of finishing the project within the budget. And therefore, chances are that you are going to be spending more than the budget, right? So that's the answer. Let me also look at if there was a question or any kind of a... No. You have to calculate the TCPI, because CPI would, in this case, it would work, Shilpa. Basically, I know what you're saying. In this case, it would work. But if I make a slight twist in the question, you'll be in a lot of trouble. So don't think, right? So always, wherever you have to use a future calculation, always go for TCPI. So guys, if you have any question, any kind of emotional outburst, all right, I will call it a day. All right, guys, I've only got 2 missed calls from my wife, and she knows martial arts, so I really don't want to take any chance. Don't worry about my patience, right? Yeah. All right, you guys take care. Have a nice evening, whatever that's left of it. I'm going to have my dinner, right? So you guys enjoy. And thank you for your time, right? So the guys take care.